What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another entertainment video, y'all. Had a little 2-week hiatus, went on vacation, hit up Mexico, had to go on a work trip to Atlanta. But you know we're back and we're locked in. NBA All-Star Game a couple weeks ago now. We're back into the final stretch of the NBA season. Every team has like 25, maybe less games left to go. So you know everybody's trying to get in tune, get the chemistry going. Trades happen throughout the year. And the biggest trade by far, probably the last decade, definitely the biggest trade this year, Luka Doncic to the Lakers. And yesterday, Luka's first game against the Dallas Mavericks. It wasn't in Dallas, so probably not as crazy as it will be once that happens. But the game in LA, Kyrie was there. AD was sitting out. Nico Harrison, the GM that traded Luka, was in the building. Obviously, Jason Kidd was in the building. So it was a lot of buildup, a lot of hype. I was hyped up. Game was at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, so you know I stayed up. I hope everybody else stayed up. If you went to sleep early, you missed out. Luka went for a triple-double against his old team. Him and LeBron looking like a duo that, quite frankly, I don't know how you're going to stop it. There was a funny play where they did kind of the semi-pro move. LeBron had it outside, threw it into Luka, threw it back to LeBron. LeBron threw it back to Luka. Luka did like a fake fadeaway, throws it to LeBron. LeBron hits the three. The Dallas coach, the Dallas whole bench is kind of like, what are we supposed to do? And that's kind of pretty much what I feel like everybody's going to be saying in the NBA. How are we supposed to stop these two guys? I mean, not only do they have Luka and LeBron, Austin Reaves or AR-15, dude has been going crazy as a third option. I mean, underrated as far as probably the best third scoring option in the NBA right now, which is crazy to think. And quite frankly, I don't remember the last time two white boys were on an NBA team that were just getting buckets like this. And not just like shooting either. Luka, Austin Reaves, they get to the basket. They create contact, and you just see how annoyed they make these other players because everybody's bigger, faster, stronger, at least than Austin Reaves, definitely faster than Luka. But those dudes just get to their spots, and you love to see everybody just pressed, annoyed at how easily those dudes are manipulating the game in their favor. And I love to see it go down, man. So Luka got his first W. Like I said, he had a triple-double against his former team. I did make a big bet of $2 to win 11 on that triple-double, so give it up to me. I didn't think it was actually going to happen, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch the game. Let's throw a little $2. You know, $2 bills don't even exist anymore, but I'm going to throw it on this game. And Lakers now, they're 7-3 in their last 10 games or since acquiring Luka. Let me double-check that. There we go. We loaded up. So, yeah, they acquired him on February 1st. So, since then, he didn't play this game. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 losses. They're 7-2 since acquiring Luka. Luka didn't play in all those games, but a lot of people question the defense for the Lakers. Obviously, they don't really have a big man. Right now, they're relying on Jackson Hayes and Alex Len, which is nothing to be too proud of on the Lakers side. But the rest of the team, they have a ton of wings. You got Rui, you got LeBron, you got Vanderbilt, you got Dorian Finney-Smith. You got a lot of players that, although they're 6'8", 6'9", 6'7", they play a little bit bigger than they are. And besides Jokic and probably Anthony Davis when he's healthy or even like a Lively, there really aren't too many bigs out west. Maybe Chet, maybe Harkenstein. But the Lakers, man, it looks like right now, it looks like it's enough. They're cooking on all ends. They're playing some of the best defense in the NBA. They have Luka. They have LeBron. And we take a look at the stat from yesterday. I was about to click stats on accident. But you take a look yesterday, man, and that was right there, boy. Luka on that. Right off the rip, he's just staring at the bench, staring at everybody every time he made a shot. And in the first quarter, he started off hot. They ended up taking away a 3, but he had 10. They dropped it back to 7. But he was cooking, bro. I had Luka getting like over 31.5 points. That didn't happen. He did get the triple-double like I thought, but I didn't even put enough bread for that to make a significant increase. $11, I can't even get a Big Mac meal with that. But Luka right here, you see 19 points. 15 rebounds, 12 assists, 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Shooting pretty poor from 3, but 1 of 7. LeBron added his thing, doing his thing, 27 points, 12 rebounds. Rui had 15. Austin Reaves had 20. So, I mean, you see offense is definitely not their problem at all, man. And it's just nonstop entertainment when you're watching them. And the thing that I love about Luka is Luka's just always got that little, like, edge to him. So, a lot of people, you know, they're like, he's still smiling, doesn't look like he's too pressed out there. But when you see how he felt after he made those first couple of shots, you could tell he's like, yo, man, busted Dallas. I hate you guys. I'm getting back at you. And he shook up with everybody after the game. I was watching, like, yo, who's he going to shake up with? He shook up with all the players, some assistants. I didn't see him shake up with J-Kid. Definitely not see him shake up with Nico Harrison. So you know he's going to hold that to it, and I can't wait to see once he goes to Dallas. And let's see, when do they have that game? Lakers versus Dallas. So April 9th, y'all. Mark your calendars. 6:30 p.m., the Lakers are going to Dallas. And I hope Anthony Davis is healthy. I hope either Lively or Gafford, let them all be healthy, because I want to see like the best game possible. So Lakers, Mavericks, April 9th. Mark your calendars, y'all. This is when it's going to get real crazy. Last night's game was dope, but obviously they're in LA, not really going to be as crazy. But April 9th, 6:30 p.m., Lakers at Dallas Mavericks. Anthony Davis, get your shit together. You better be healthy, because I want to see both teams go at it full scale. I mean, realistically, I've been on the Lakers side of this. Like, yo, you got LeBron, you got Luka. How can you possibly lose? But when you see the game last night, you really start to think about the whole Dallas roster, the whole Dallas starting lineup. You could have Kyrie, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively. That's a tough starting fight to beat. Then you're still thinking about who's coming off the bench. They got Najee Marshall. They still got Daniel Gafford will be able to come off the bench. They got Dwight Powell. They have a lot of different pieces that they can move around out there on the board. And Dallas, if healthy, but that's the really, really big question. If healthy, they might have a chance to see both of these teams in the Western Conference Finals, depending on where the standings shake out. But big thing is Anthony Davis has to get healthy. Somebody's got to step up to be alongside. I almost cried there. To be alongside Kyrie. Klay Thompson did go crazy yesterday. There was some vintage Klay. He had 20 points. He caught fire. I think it was in the third quarter or fourth quarter. He had like 8 or 10 points. He ended up with 22 points, 5 of 10 from 3. Kyrie was just cooking, man. When you watch Kyrie, I don't know how you dispute him not being an all-star, not being like a top 15 NBA player. That dude is doing things that we are never going to see again on an NBA basketball court. Some of his shots are just absolute insane with the skill, the footwork, everything he does just to get to his spots. He had a sick move on the baseline in the fourth quarter where he kind of sidestepped, hit a little fadeaway, and he just makes it look so easy, so crispy. And he's got that like Uncle Drew look going right now. He shaved his head off, no lining really, had a little gray patch going on. I'm like, bro, I'm officially getting old, because now Kyrie's looking like Unc for sure out there. He used to be Uncle Drew. Now he's looking like Uncle Kai. But I'm excited to see where these teams are going to play out. And we got to look at the standings too, because things are heating up in the West. Right now, people have been snoozing pretty much nonstop on LA. LA's now 4th in the West. They're only 2 games behind 2nd. Their next coming games, they're going to play the Clippers twice, so they can really kind of boost themselves ahead of the Clippers. And I think tonight they're playing the Minnesota Timberwolves. So LA putting themselves in a really good spot. We got to take a look at some of these things that went down. I want to get some reactions to some of these little clips that came out yesterday. Let me check my bookmarks on Twitter. And man, y'all, my skin, lips, everything, it feels dry. I was in Mexico, came back home for 3 days, went to Atlanta. Now I'm back home. Feel like the air. It's like when you're white, your skin just we can't handle it. And I mean, I'm mostly 30-something% indigenous American, whatever. But the rest of me is European, and that skin can't handle it right now. I'm drier than a mug. I'm lotioning up, and I'm just absorbing it in. I feel like that SpongeBob meme where he's like, it's so good. We getting crazy. But right here, bro, let's look. I was just bookmarking like every clip last night. I'm like, we gone. Cade Cunningham going crazy. And we're going to talk about Cade. But this part I think this is funny. And if you're watching the game, this is dead ass right here. Everybody looks wide open on the Lakers. Rui's wide open. Austin Reaves wide open. Dorian Finney-Smith's wide open. So the Lakers, they're not going to have trouble scoring. That's definitely not going to be a thing. LeBron and Luka, they create offense like no other. Austin Reaves can even create more offense. It's just going to come down to, can these dudes hit open shots? Can Dorian Finney-Smith hit an open shot? Vanderbilt was actually hitting some threes yesterday, which is a little bit surprising. Can Rui hit those shots? Can Gabe Vincent hit those shots? Because these dudes are buck naked, wide open, like Dorian Finney-Smith said right here. Like, you watch the game, literally every 3 seems like there's just nobody within 10 or 20 feet of those Lakers players. Cade, we're going to talk about you right now, bro. We got to keep talking about the Lakers, though. But this right here, man, but not as close as I would have liked. Even right here is funny. This one was good, too. The Mark Cuban reaction. It's like a proud dad when you're like, man, we let him go. We let him go. Everybody's pumped. He's yelling. Mark Cuban right here. Here we go. Mark Cuban like a proud dad. You go, Luka. You go, brother. That's like happy but pain at the same time. He's like, yo. Then he remembers he's not on the Mavericks anymore. He's like, it hurts. It hurts. Like right here, the excitement of like, oh, I love you, Luka. Then right here, the pain of he's no longer on our team. So what happens, bro. Shark Tank. You gone. We will go with another investor, the Los Angeles Lakers. Bro. Then right here, this was that Luka, literally Magic Johnson, LeBron James, like one of the best regular season games in a minute. I was excited to see it. And that's all I could think of. And like I was bookmarking everything last night. Klay was going bonkers, 11 straight. Man. And this is that play I was talking about. This is right here, just that this is that semi-pro offense. Back him down, kick it out, give it back. Back him down, kick it out, give it back. Back him down, back him on, fade away. No, I'm not. LeBron, yeet. How do you stop that? You see Jason Kidd's reaction on the bench. He's like looking around. How do you stop that? Do you commit to the double team? Do you not? Who cares? LeBron, Luka in 4. Let's fucking go. I never thought I'd be rooting for LeBron. This is what Luka's done to me. All right, I've wasted too much time talking about Luka, LeBron, but that's what we all want to watch. That's what we all want to know. So next thing, let's just shift over a little bit, guys. Like I said, we're 25 games left in the season. Besides just talking about the games, we got to talk about just some surprise teams in each conference. So I'm going to talk about the surprise teams out east, surprise teams out west, and then underachieving teams in each conference. So I guess the best way to put it, overachieving, that's a new word. Overachieving teams in both conferences and underachieving teams in each conference. So let's start off with the overachieving teams. You got to be on the positive side. So overachieving are the surprise teams of each conference. In the Eastern Conference, I got to go with the Detroit Pistons, guys. Right now, Detroit is 6th in the East. They're actually 32-26, 6 games above 500. Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, 2 young guys right now that are leading the team, leading the way for them. Cade's averaging 25.8 points per game, 9.5 assists, and 6.3 rebounds. They don't even have Jalen Ivey, who's currently injured right now. He broke his fibula, so he's probably going to be out for the remainder of the year. They brought in vets like Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik Beasley, so they're probably not going to contend or even make it to the second round. Who knows what's going to happen, but they're definitely a surprise for me out east. Them not even being mentioned in the play-in right now, they're in the playoffs, is a little bit absurd. I thought they were a year or two away. They're probably a few more pieces away from actually contending. But in the East, man, for Detroit right now, they literally have the same wins as the Bucks and only 1 more loss. So Milwaukee, not even putting up with them. They're ahead of Orlando. They're ahead of Miami. They're ahead of Atlanta. So Detroit right now, I think a little bit ahead of schedule, and I think Cade Cunningham is an absolute dog, absolute beast, and the type of player that you build an NBA franchise around. You're looking at what I said his stats are here, 25 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. Dude can do everything on the court. He pretty much impacts everything on the court. And they're actually on a 7-game winning streak right now, which I didn't even notice until I looked at it right now. So 7-game winning streak, 8-2 in their last 10. They actually have a plus differential, which is a little bit surprising. And they're actually above 500, not only at home, but also away. So Detroit been hooping a young up-and-coming core. They're also in line to, probably get a decent pickup this year, whether it's in free agency, whether it's putting together some of those players to maybe get a draft pick, get another player in this year's draft that has a ton of different players. But definitely my surprise, my overachieving team in the Eastern Conference has to be the Detroit Pistons, being led by Cade Cunningham, by Jalen Duren. Tim Hardaway Jr. is back in Detroit. Tobias Harris back in Detroit. So definitely a team out east that's making some noise, a little bit more surprising. I don't know if they'll even win a playoff series, but they're definitely a team to look out for this year in terms of who's overachieving. In the West, man, maybe a little bit of a surprise to call them overachieving, surprising, but quite frankly, they got to be on there. For me, it's the Memphis Grizzlies, y'all. In the West, they're overachieving, surprising me. I did not think they would be second right now in the Western Conference. And they are tied with Denver, only a couple games ahead of the Lakers and the Rockets. But Ja Morant's been having a down season, guys. He's only averaging 20 points, 7 assists per game. Jaren Jackson Jr. is actually leading the team, and that's only with 22.8 points per game. The really big difference is Memphis has 9 players that are averaging more than 9 points per game. So, we've seen that before in the NBA where there's teams that everybody kind of contributes. There's not really that main star, big stars that are leading the team in scoring. But Memphis just does a little bit of everything. That old grit and grind from the Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol days, they still kind of have that tenacity where not one person, Ja obviously could take over, but not one guy's averaging 30, not 2 dudes averaging 25. They just kind of get a little bit of everything from everybody. And rookie Zach Edey right now leading the team with 7 rebounds per game. You remember they had Steven Adams. They let him go. Zach Edey stepped in kind of perfectly right into that mix. So for me, the 2 most overachieving and surprising teams right now out east, I got to go with the Detroit Pistons. Cade Cunningham, Jalen, Duren right now. They have Detroit 6th in the Eastern Conference standings. And out west, I'm going with the Memphis Grizzlies, y'all. 2nd place in the Western Conference right now with nobody averaging more than 23 points per game. I'm a little bit shocked that Memphis has climbed that high up in the standings. Ja's having a down year. They're not really getting as much as they thought they would out of him. But they got 9 players that are averaging 9 points or more per game. So that's kind of keeping them afloat in the regular season. So let me know what you guys think. Who are your most overachieving teams in both the East and Western Conference? Because I got Detroit out east and Memphis out west. So let me know what you guys think. And then on the complete opposite spectrum, we got to go with the underachieving teams, guys. And I think these 2 are easy. I don't even think if you ask somebody who's the most underachieving team in the East and they didn't tell you this team, I'd be shocked. If you ask who's the most underachieving team in the West, they asked you, I'd be shocked. Or I wouldn't be shocked if they picked this team. So Eastern Conference, no questions asked, y'all. The Philadelphia 76ers. They signed Paul George to a 4-year, $200 million deal this past season. And Joel and Embiid, they've both already missed over 15 games each, which I'm not surprised. I'm sure you're not surprised. And not only have they been horrible, but they're currently 17 games under 500, and they're not even in the play-in tournament. So if the season ended today, Philadelphia misses the playoffs, Philadelphia misses the play-in tournament. And as if it couldn't get any worse, Joel Embiid's already getting more testing done on his knees. They're going to decide if he's even going to play the rest of the year. And a ton of people have just pretty much been saying, why is Embiid even playing? He shouldn't have played probably in the summer on the Olympics. Probably should have got surgery. He came in, has looked absolutely hobbled up. And the final verdict has to be, guys, do not trust the process. Do not trust the process because it's just backfired on him. Maxey just doing everything on his own. And Paul George's numbers, they don't look bad. He's averaging like 16, 17 points, which for being the 2nd or 3rd option on a team, I guess is not horrible. But when you think about Embiid missing like 25 games already and Paul George hasn't been able to step up in his absence, you would expect a lot more. And who knows what they're going to do, guys. I mean, you got, like I said, George just signed that 4-year deal. Embiid got an extension a couple years ago. Who's going to want to trade for 2 guys that are always hurt? And even when they do play, they're not always putting up great numbers, at least not currently. And it's crazy to think that not that long ago, Joel Embiid was the MVP of the NBA. And Daryl Morey is just probably panicking over there. What are you going to do with Paul George? What are you going to do with Joel Embiid? Their best option right now is to just tank, finish as horrible as they can, get a top pick. And that's the thing, too. From what I was reading, what I was hearing, if they don't finish within the top 6, they actually lose their pick, I believe, to Oklahoma City. So currently, it's in their best interest in Philadelphia to lose, to be as horrible as possible. So underachieving team out east, you got to go with the Sixers. In the West, even a weirder situation, y'all. I don't understand what's going on there, but my most underachieving team in the West is the Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, they just cannot figure it out. Beal came up in trade talks. He has a no-trade clause. He was like, I'm not leaving Phoenix unless it absolutely makes sense. He didn't want to go. So that made Kevin Durant come up in trade talks where they was talking about going to Miami, talking about sending him back to Golden State. And pretty much ever since that happened, things look like they're just falling apart even worse. And Devin Booker, the only person they're saying that's completely safe, that they're not going to trade, which I don't understand that. They're under 500. Booker's the same person on this team. He doesn't really play defense at all. And they obviously, they can score the ball. Last night they scored 149 points, but they can't stop anybody. They gave up 150 points to the Memphis Grizzlies in overtime. And for real, Phoenix is burning, y'all. You got to use the cliches, the funny little hyperboles, but Phoenix is on fire. You don't know what they're going to do. There's already a ton of rumors coming out that it's for sure that Kevin Durant is going to be gone this offseason. And it really, I don't understand what Cleveland can do, man. you look at their roster, they got a little bit of everything. They have Grayson Allen. They have Tyus Jones. They picked up Nick Richardson from Charlotte. They got Nurkic still. They just suck. This is why when you look, I love Durant. I think he's a great scorer. I think he's one of the best players of all time. But this is why people hate on him. You got a solid team here, better than some of the other rosters that I see out west, and they just suck. You just can't do it. Grayson Allen, Bradley Beal, Bull's been killing. Devin Booker. You got Kevin Durant, obviously. Cody Martin, who's also hurt. Monte Morris, Royce O'Neal, Mace Plumlee, Nick Richards. These are solid NBA players. Mike Budenholzer, former NBA champion with the Milwaukee Bucks coach. They just can't get it together. And Durant, you watch the team play, and it just comes down to defense. Booker doesn't stay in front of anybody. Durant definitely don't stay in front of anybody. Bradley Beal don't stay in front of anybody. And then that's what kind of fucks up the rest of the team is these guys they don't have any rim protector, no big guy back there like a Anthony Davis, like a Derek Lively, that can just kind of erase a lot of the problems that everybody else is allowing to happen. And it really just begs the question, you got to think Durant, man. It's hard. It's hard to defend KD. He's got to go down as the best Robin in NBA history. I know that Kevin Durant led the Warriors in those 2 finals. I know he was the finals MVP. But the year since in New Jersey, now in Phoenix, it proves to me that Kevin Durant just has to be an absolute number 2. This dude cannot be the leader of the team. He cannot be the guy that you expect to put together the whole group, to build chemistry as a group, because these are decent rosters that he has, and he just doesn't seem to be able to put them over the hump. I know he stepped on the line when he was in New Jersey. People said they would have beat the Bucks. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's official, guys. Kevin Durant, best Robin in NBA history. He cannot be the main guy in a championship team. He needs somebody else. He needs somebody all around him, and they got to do everything. All he wants to really come out there, do is score, get buckets, but he's not going to be that main guy. So, all right, guys, my most underachieving teams in each conference. I don't think these are a surprise to anybody. In the East, the Philadelphia 76ers, Embiid, Paul George, Maxey, absolute failure. Do not trust the process. Paul George, Joel Embiid already missed over 15 games each. They're not even in the play-in game right now. There's 17 games under 500. And then out west, my most underachieving team, the Phoenix Suns, y'all. They're not even in the play-in game either. Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, $150 million in salary this year. And these dudes cannot get it together. Bradley Beal uses no trade clause to stay in Phoenix. Kevin Durant came up in trade talks. Things are crumbling. Katie's probably gone after this season. So my most underachieving team so far in the West, Phoenix Suns, and in the East, the Philadelphia 76ers. Let me know what you guys think. Is there anybody I missed that should be more underachieving than them? I don't think so, guys. Stars, expectations, these are the most underachieving teams in both the East and Western Conference, y'all. But thanks for coming through. Thanks for stopping by for the entertainment video, y'all. Less than 25 games in the NBA. Let me know what you guys think about the Luka trade, what you think about that performance against Dallas, and what do you think about my most underachieving and overachieving teams in both conference, y'all. Stay up, drop a comment, like, subscribe, share. I gotta go. Deuces.